Now today, Huawei announced a brand new laptop, the Huawei MateBook D16, a 16-inch laptop running the brand new 12th gen Intel processor, the Core i7-12700H. It also has a really nice 16-inch display, and it has a premium all-metal build. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is my unboxing and first look at the Huawei MateBook D16 here for 2022. Coming up. And before we get to the unboxing, I want to let everybody know, in the interest of transparency and full disclosure, I'm not being paid by Huawei. I'm not being sponsored by Huawei. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own. Huawei is not getting copy approval. That means they're seeing this video for the first time, just like you. Now, this review unit is on loan from Huawei, and once this review is done, I'll be sending it back. Now, this will be available in Europe. I don't have any information on the US or anywhere else, but this will be announced today, so pricing should be set. Once I get that information, I will update this video in the link below. And with the specs and pricing out of the way, let's find out what you get inside the box. So let's open it up. And just so you know, packaging here is a pre-production unit. I would imagine retail packaging should be a lot nicer. Now, they do include a 65-watt power charger here. It's a European charger, and it also includes a USB-C cable. And finally, you get some documentation that appears to be in Chinese. And of course, you get the unit itself, and holding it for the first time, the first thing that comes to mind is how premium this all-metal design feels. Very high-end with very good build quality. I didn't see much flex or give in the chassis, which we like to see. That's good. And at 1.7 kilograms or 3.75 pounds, definitely portable for a 16-inch laptop. Not bad for taking it on the go. We like to see that. And it's a clean design with the Huawei logo being the only branding on it. It's quite big, actually. But other than that, very clean and minimalist design. And for those wondering, well, you can't quite open it up with one finger. You can almost get there, but not all the way. Now, once you do open the lid, of course, you're greeted by the keyboard. And let's just start off with that. It's a really nice keyboard, actually, with a numpad. So for those that like to crunch numbers and spreadsheets and Excel and so forth, you're going to like this. Now, the tactility is very good. The key travel is pretty good as well. So I thought it was pretty comfortable to type on. And it does have a backlight. That allows you to get work done in a dark room or a dimly lit environment. Overall, I thought the keyboard was very good. And there also is a precision touchpad. Now, the touchpad I thought was very responsive in terms of two-finger scrolling, and all the gestures are working as you'd expect. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that since this does have that numpad, it moves the touchpad off center a bit towards the left. Takes a little bit of time for adjustment. Didn't take me too long, maybe a half a day, but I'm more used to it because I've dealt with 16-inch laptops with numpads in the past with that same issue. Okay, let's check out the port selection. On the left side are two USB-C ports, one of which is full function. That first one supports data, charge, and display out. You get an HDMI port, and next to that is a 3.5mm microphone headphone combo jack. And moving over to the right side is one USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A port and one USB 2.0 Type A port to round out the ports on this laptop. Now, notably missing, there's no SD card reader, and especially for a 16-inch laptop that content creators would want to look at, that would have been good to have on this. You don't get it on this, and there is no Thunderbolt 4 support on those USB-C ports. Would have been nice as well. Now, to get inside this laptop, there are 10 T5 Torx screws. Remove them, pop off the bottom plate, and you're in. It was actually pretty easy. Now, once inside, you'll notice a single fan for cooling. I'll get into the thermals and surface temperatures and fan noise in the upcoming full review. But you also will notice that it has a 60 watt-hour battery. I did an initial battery test. We'll talk about that in a moment. But you'll notice what is upgradable as far as the user is concerned. It is the M.2 PCIe SSD storage, and I have 512 gigabytes of storage. And as you can see from the Crystal DiskMark results in terms of the reads and writes, these are Gen 3 speeds, which are good, but they're not the faster Gen 4 we've been seeing here in 2022. And one thing to note, Huawei partitioned this drive into two different drives, but they're both getting obviously the same reads and writes here as I did the test on that, but something to be aware of. And unfortunately, the RAM is soldered into the motherboard, so you cannot upgrade it as the user. Now, my review unit has 16 gigabytes of LP DDR4X RAM running in dual channel mode. And as far as the wireless is concerned, this is Wi-Fi 6 along with Bluetooth 5.1. Now, this combo card is soldered into the motherboard, so you won't be able to swap it out down the road. But I've had no issues so far in either the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth, both working really well. Now, while we're inside, you'll notice that there is that single fan, but on the other side, you'll notice there is another space that looks like there could be another fan option there, which would lead me to believe that maybe there's an option coming for a discrete GPU. Who knows? But right now, this is only coming with Iris Xe graphics. We'll get into the performance in a little bit. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this has a 60 watt-hour battery, which I think is a little bit on the small side for a 16-inch laptop. And I got 7 hours and 6 minutes on my continuous web surfing test over Wi-Fi at 150 nits. Not the greatest result. And what I think you're going to see in terms of mixed usage is anywhere from 5 to 6 hours, depending on what you're doing. So please keep that in mind, as everybody's use case is a little bit different, so your mileage may vary. I'll test more in my long-term review on this, but for now, I don't think battery life is a strong suit on this laptop, that's for sure. Now, as far as the CPU is concerned, this is running the Core i7-12700H processor, the Alder Lake 12th gen processor from Intel. And it's working out pretty well so far in terms of the single core and multi-core score, which are pretty impressive here so far, considering this doesn't have a discrete GPU, but it has Intel Iris Xe graphics with 96 executional units. And I'm seeing so far very good performance in terms of doing Microsoft Office, email, web browsing, some video editing, and 1080p video editing for sure. You could even do some light 4K video editing, even though, again, this does not have that discrete GPU. Now, I'm going to do more testing as my full review in terms of gaming, thermal performance, and all that. But my initial testing so far has shown that this is a very capable 16-inch laptop, and I look forward to putting it through its paces. Okay, let's talk about the display, and what we're looking at here is a 16-inch IPS display. It's a matte display, so you don't get any unnecessary glare or reflections, which I absolutely love, and it's a 300 nit display. That's what Huawei claims, and that's about what I measured in my testing. So it's a pretty decent display in terms of brightness, and you can use it in both indoor and outdoor scenarios, and the fact that it is a matte display certainly benefits that, since you won't get that glare and reflection. Now, as far as the coverage of the color gamut, very decent in terms of those numbers, and it also is a color accurate display, coming in under 2 in terms of the Delta E score. You got deep blacks, good white point, good contrast, overall a very good display. So if you're a content creator, you can use this for Lightroom, Photoshop, video editing, color grading. It is pretty decent, not the best I've ever seen, but definitely capable, especially at this hopefully good price point. And this being an IPS display, you get the really good viewing angles, and it's also a non-touch display for those wondering, so you don't get the option for touch on this, which would have been nice as well. So this is the front-facing camera on the new Huawei MatePad D16. A really nice 16-inch laptop, really nice display, matte display, Full HD+, 16:10, which we know we love. Really nice overall laptop. This is a 1080p camera, which is good to see here in 2022. Good for your Zoom calls, good for your work from home needs. The other thing to note, this is not an IR camera on this model. That means you cannot log in with face recognition, but the power button doubles as a fingerprint scanner. You can log in with Windows Hello on that. Setup was easy and it worked really well, registering my finger each and every time. Let me know how the video quality is. Let me know how the mics sound on this. In terms of the internal mics, let's see if this is good enough for your needs. Again, happy to see 1080p camera, but I'm curious to know what you think. Let me know in the comments section below. And of course, this has the Huawei Share feature, which I'm exploring right now, and I'll bring you more information on that in the full review. But so far, I like it. Transferring files between phone, tablet, and computer has been really great so far, and I look forward to testing it out and bring you what I've found so far with that Huawei Share. It's looking good so far. And there are bottom-facing speakers on this. They're actually pretty good. Not the loudest I've ever heard on a 16-inch laptop, but I think they're pretty decent. They'll get the job done when you need it in a pinch. But of course, if you want a more enhanced audio sound, use a pair of good Bluetooth headphones or wired headphones to get that better sound. But for these speakers, I think they're okay. Now let's give it a listen to get an example of just how they sound. Okay, let's bring it all home. So far, what do I think about the Huawei MateBook D16 here for 2022? And I think Huawei's got something good on their hands. I can't wait to put it through its paces to give you my full review. That will be coming very soon. But in the meantime, my initial impressions are, I like the bigger display, the 16:10 aspect ratio. I like the premium all-metal design, the comfortable keyboard with the numpad, upgradable SSD, the good performance out of that 12th gen processor, the responsive touchpad, the 1080p webcam, which we like to see here in 2022. It runs cool, it runs quiet so far. I like the Huawei Share feature, which I'll spotlight more in the next video. And I like that premium all-metal build, as I mentioned, with some decent port selection. Now, what I'm not crazy about is the fact that the display, although at 300 nits is okay, it could be brighter. It would be better, say, something closer to 400 or above. No higher refresh rate option. We're at 60 hertz here. No option for 90 or 120 hertz. And there's no Thunderbolt 4 support on this, which we like to see here in 2022. And less than stellar battery life so far, but I still have a little bit more testing on that. But initially, with that 60 watt-hour battery, which is on the smallish side for a 16-inch laptop, I would say it's so-so in terms of the battery life so far. So what do you think about this bad boy, the MateBook D 16-inch laptop? Love the space gray, love the all-metal design, love the premium build quality. Now, today they're going to announce the pricing. At the time I recorded this, I did not have any pricing information. It should be available in Europe. I'm trying to find out availability worldwide as far as where you can get it. As soon as I get that information, I'll let everybody know. The things that I'm really liking about it, of course, is that performance out of that Core i7 12700H. Port selection's pretty good. No SD card reader, no Thunderbolt 4 on this, which I think is a little bit disappointing. But of course, they're saving that for their more premium line. In the MateBook line, we saw what the 16S announced today. We'll talk about that very soon. I thought the integrated Iris Xe graphics are good, although I would like an option for a dedicated GPU. That would be nice on this. That's not something you get with this. But again, I'm expecting a good price performance ratio here. Battery is a little bit on the small side at 60 watt hours, but I got a little bit over 7 hours on my continuous web surfing test over Wi-Fi at 150 nits. Real world mixed usage, expect 5 to 6 hours depending on what you're doing with this laptop. And I really like the display. 16-inch IPS matte display, which I'm a big fan of. No unnecessary glare or reflections. It worked well. 300 nits is good, although of course you'd like to see it even above that. But that's my minimum threshold, so it does reach that. 300 nits, really good matte display. Good coverage of the color gamut, not great. Good color accuracy, under 2 in the terms of the Delta E score, so it covers the display really nicely. And I love having that extra screen real estate that you get over a 15 or a 14 or even a 13-inch that you do get here with that 16-inch display. But I'm curious to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. My initial testing so far is looking good, but of course I have to put it through its paces and bring you my full review. That will be coming very soon. But I think Huawei's got a nice offering here, especially if they can come in at a good price, especially with that price to performance ratio we want to see. They will definitely have a winner on their hands. Hopefully it'll be coming not only to Europe, but other places within the world, including here in North America. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, my website, amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.